from 2016 to 2019, I lived down in Honduras, in Choluteca, Honduras, where I loved on my sobrinos from the local orphanage. Now, I call them my sobrinos, my nieces and my nephews, because for those 3 years, I wanted these kiddos to know that they were a part of my family and that I was going to lavish my love on them and spoil them rotten, whether they deserved it or not, because we're familia. So every Saturday, I would take a taxi and go over to Casa Hogar, house that is a home, and I would hang out with my sobrinos. We would read books, we would talk, we'd play soccer, we would do nails, we'd play games, we'd snuggle and just hang out. Every birthday, I would take my kiddos to the movie theaters, complete with popcorn, obviously, and their favorite soda, and we'd see whatever movie was playing. Special events, we'd make chocolate chip cookies because everyone has to know how to do that. Over Easter, we would dye Easter eggs. Christmas, we do little arts and crafts. I would try to teach them how to read, just kind of whatever. The mundane, the day-to-day, and the extravagant and special, making sure that they felt treasured and loved in every single way that I possibly could. If I could get my hands on any extra clothes, toiletries, toys, soccer balls, you name it, I would really make a point to bring over any kind of gifts. Obviously educational books and all of that because I'm a teacher, but also just a game and a toy and nail polish and clothes, whatever. I would really just try to saturate them in love and let them know that they were my family for those 3 years and that I cared for them as I would any other sobrino. Now, did I do that because they also did something exemplary in their love for me? Let me tell you this. There were Saturdays that I showed up and the girls would just stay in the house. They would not even acknowledge the fact that I was there. They would completely ignore me. There were other times where the girls complained about the nail polish, that they like so-and-so's color better, that they wanted this, that they don't like this, blah, blah, blah. All of the kids, I feel like, complained about the movie theaters, not because they went, not because they got popcorn, soda, usually we could go to the arcade. No, they complained because the movie that just happened to be playing in their birthday month was not as good as the movie that was playing for so-and-so's birthday. That one was way better. Why couldn't we have seen that movie? They would disdain and hate the clothes that I gave them. They'd say, I want new stuff. Why is she giving me this? They wouldn't like the books I brought them. They wouldn't like the treats I would make for them. They wanted brownies instead of chocolate chip cookies, whatever. One time, one of the girls knew that I hated spiders and that I was very terrified of them. So she took a tarantula that was outside and threw it at my face. So why did I stay for 3 years and give up a steady paycheck and give up the safety and comfort of my house and everyone that I know and love dearly? Why did I give all that up for 3 years? It's because God first loved me. You see, I'm the exact same as these kiddos. God gives me the gift of life and the gift of sunrises and sunsets and a heart that beats and legs that walk and the gift of opening up my eyes yet another day. And yet, I can just ignore God completely. There's days where God's knocking at the door, where he wants to spend time with me, to just remind me of my value and how treasured I am. And I ignore him completely. I stay in my own little world, and I don't even acknowledge the fact that he's here waiting to spend time with me. I can look at the gifts God's given me, and then I can start to compare to the gift that God has given other people. And I think, well, mine's not as good. Why couldn't I get so-and-so's? Their life is so much better. Why didn't God give me that? He's holding out on me. I compare and I complain, and I can disdain the very gifts that God, the Almighty, has given me. One of my favorite books in the Bible is Hosea, because God has a prophet marry an unfaithful woman. And God says, those are my people. He is a faithful God to us. And yet, how many times do we reject him? Do we ignore his heart? Do we turn away to other things? Ignoring this immense amount of love he's just ready and waiting to lavish on us. Now, there's a verse in the Bible that says, love isn't that we loved God. No, love is that God loved us first. And we only love other people because God first loved us, is what it says in 1 John. And there's a verse that even says, God, we didn't choose God. No. God chose us to be his own treasured possession. Now this Christmas season, I want you to take a step back and analyze your life. I want you to quiet your heart in the busyness of the season and listen for that voice of love. That God who's calling you into his family, who's standing at the door knocking, waiting for you to open it up so he can spend time with you and remind you how deeply loved you truly are.